Hey amigos, what's going on? Hey, welcome back to another video. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to take a break from this shovel head over here. I immediately started working on it because I just wanted to put a different front end on there. So I have the original front end just hanging on the wall behind me. It has a narrow glide front end. The more I got to looking at it, with those fat bob tanks right there and these handlebars, it just looked off kilter. So what I have done, I found a wide glide front end that will look better with these bars and that tank. And I've already taken the tall risers that was underneath these bars. I took them out so it looks a lot better like this. And I went ahead and got a 21-inch front wheel, dual disc brake. But I'm waiting on parts like a front axle, spacers, and brake discs because it uses 10-inch brake discs with a 2-inch ID. Enough of that. I'm picking up again on the Tramp. What I'm going to try to accomplish is to put the top end together. I don't have the tank and the fender yet, but the paint is already picked out, so it's going to look really good. You guys will just have to wait and see. So I doubt that this bike's going to be running today or tomorrow, but I'm just going to go ahead and do this. I've already started on the pistons and cylinders, which I'll show that clip after this. But hey, I don't normally say this in the beginning of a video, but I know, here's the cliche thing. If you like what you see after you get done watching this, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. But some of you guys have been saying you don't get notifications anymore about my videos when they're being uploaded. So I think I know what's going on because I've talked to two people one-on-one about why they're not getting them. If you're subscribed already, if you just go to my page, right by the button where it says to subscribe, there's a little bell up there, okay? And just click on that bell, and then you'll see all, some, or whatever. Click on all. That way you will get all of the notifications every time a new video is uploaded. So if they don't show up in your feed anymore and you're not getting notified, like I said, hit that bell. So anyway, I guess I'll go ahead and show you the clip where I put the piston in the cylinder. And it's not very orthodox, but here it goes. Probably not the most practical and easy way to install your piston into your cylinder, but anyway, I don't have a ring compressor tool. All I have is fingers, but it just takes a little bit of patience and carefulness and you can get it in there. As you can see, I also got my wrist pin set in there, so when it goes on the connecting rod or over the connecting rod, I'm just going to push this thing right in here and then put the C-clip in. Oh, and by the way, I didn't show you, there's an arrow on the top of this piston. This is the right side of the engine right here, and the front is that way, which is the direction that the arrow needs to point. Also, check your manual to see where the rings, as far as the ring gaps go on the piston, what direction, and always check your ring gap. So I didn't really show that because, like I said, this is the beginning of the video. I got a little ahead of myself, so I'm just now tuning you guys in. So thanks for tuning in. Let's see what else we can get done on this bike. Okay, I got the other cylinder done. And I guess what we're going to do now is we're going to get them onto the connecting rod. And before you do that, here's what you want to do. You want to stuff some rags down in the cylinder holes, mostly because if that little C-clip that you put in on the other side of the wrist pin happens to slip out of your grasp and wants to go down, you don't want it falling down in the engine case, because the only way to fix that or to get to it is to split the engine case. Okay, so in order to keep from having a bad day, we did something just so simple. Just don't forget to do that step, okay? But doing this type of deal here, I almost need to have like 3 hands. I can do it by myself, but it's kind of sketchy. So my missus, who is so sweet, she's come out to help. And she doesn't want to be on camera like always. So she's going to help me, basically be an extra hand in getting this stuff together. So without any further ado, let's do that. These little clips are a pain in the butt. They make a special tool for this that I don't have. So I'm gonna try to do my best with, you know, my fingers and the screwdriver. All right, it's all in the groove. And you want to make sure that clip is all the way in the groove in that piston, because the last thing you want to have happen is have that thing to back out while it's running, because you're going to have a huge mess. Okay, I guess not all aftermarket parts are made to fit, you know? At least not perfectly when they go on. Check this out. I can't get the cylinder to go all the way down because there's this little logo right here that VTwin put on here that's bumping up against this lifter block or lifter guard or seal, whatever the heck this thing is. What I'm going to have to do, I'm just going to go ahead and pull that little block off of there and get the cylinder all the way down. And then I guess I'll just have to do a little grinding. It's going to be minimal on that block. So now you might ask, why did I buy a set of brand new cylinders and pistons instead of just honing out the original ones and putting new rings in it? Well, as I took the rest of the top end apart, I found the reason why this motor was very noisy. Well, check it out. I don't know if you can see that, but there's some serious scuffing on the skirt of this piston, and it had some serious piston slap going on. Remember how I said that the cylinders said 883 on the jugs, but obviously they were bored out to a 1200, to a 3.5-inch bore? Well, obviously that was done by a machine shop, or somebody who had a machine shop, or somebody who had, you know, you get the idea. But they went and bought aftermarket pistons, and apparently the pistons were not fitted to those cylinders. So it didn't take much to cause some piston slap whenever you know, basically over machine those things. Coming from a machine shop myself, I can understand how all that works. So fresh set of pistons and cylinders, you know, with some fresh heads, why not? And it's going to have fresh paint done to it. And also, what else am I missing? Oh, and I'm going to ditch the CV carburetor that was on there, okay? Because I'm going to try and get the most out of this top end as I can. And that S&S Super E that I said I was going to put on the iron head, I'm going to put that on the Tramp, okay? Because I really like how the S&S performs on the shovel head. I think it would be best to have it on this bike right here. And I'm going to take the CV carburetor that was on this one that works very well, and I'm going to put that on the iron head, because I know that carburetor works on that bike because I've tried it before, like several videos ago. Actually, that was on Facebook, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to do a little grinding on that tappet block or whatever that thing's called, and just to get that sucker to fit, because I don't want to grind on the jug, because there goes that nice black paint, you know what I'm saying? Okay, scratch that. I started grinding on this thing right here, and it occurred to me that this little counterbore in here, there's not enough meat on this thing to make that happen. If I grind enough off of here to make this fit, I'm going to lose the little sidewall in this counterbore on this side. So I guess what I am going to do, act like a dentist and do a little bit of emergency surgery. I got all my holes covered up. My lifter block holes are covered up. The cylinders are covered up, so we don't get any shrapnel down inside the engine. Alright, I got all 4 of my lifter blocks, whatever these... You guys leave a comment down below. Tell me what these things are really called. But anyway, I got all 4 of them off. I cleaned them up real good with a rag. And I cleaned the engine case, you know, the surface where these go to. You know, got all the grime off of them so nothing falls down inside the where the lifters are. Blah, 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 blah. You know how it goes. Okay, it's a few days later. I had to stop on this project right here for a couple of days because I didn't wait on my head gaskets before I started. So these came in the mail today, and I guess I'm going to get these sandwiched in between the heads and the jugs. And also, I almost messed up. Here's how I almost messed up. Well, I already had a set of head gaskets, but I didn't have a set of these head gaskets. And why did I want a set of these head gaskets? Because I put some Cometic base gaskets on there too. You know, metal base gaskets. And these are metal, and those go by a different torque spec than these composite. So we wanted some head gaskets that are also in harmony with the base gasket. So I'm going to quit jabbering my hammer, or yammering my hammer. Oh, you guys know what I mean. All right, I got all my bolts hand tight, and so the next thing to do is torque wrench. But before that, let's read these. All right, we're looking at the front of the motorcycle again. This is a perspective as if you're looking at it that way. So here we are. This is the left, and that's the right. And it says 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's the torque sequence we're going to go by. And so it says in sequence, tighten all the head bolts to 9 foot-pounds. Then in sequence, tighten all the head bolts to 14. And then again to 22, and then again to 35, and then finally torque them to 42. Well, that sounds simple enough. All right, assuming that's 9, let's go to the next sequence, which is 14. All right, to 22 foot-pounds. Then to 35 foot-pounds. To 42. Okay, but that's how that's done. I'm not going to go ahead and show you how to do it on the second one, being that you saw me do the first one already. I think I really like how that looks. That thing looks like it's doing 100 miles an hour sitting still. So, wow. The heads and the jugs look great together. To me, that is. I mean, I think they got a really cool look to it. I really don't know how to explain what I think, other than I can dig it. So anyway, that's all for now. And I guess the next time around we see anything about this bike, it'll probably be whenever the sheet metal shows back up with its paint job, you know, and put the chain on, put the exhaust on. I don't know. I really don't know what's next. And I haven't said that in a while. I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to film next, but I will try to keep it interesting. Some of you who have been around for a while know that line. So I guess this will conclude it. And as always, guys, you keep the rubber side down and be good to yourselves, okay? Thanks a lot.